The Circleville Pumpkin Show announces its biggest pumpkin winners. Plus, unusual severe weather touched down in Cleveland this week. And in sports, Jackson tries to reclaim the FAC title with the win over Chillicothe. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Olivia Roman. Circleville Pumpkin Show announces its biggest pumpkin winners. Sorry, technical difficulties. Athens High School seniors have a new scholarship available for college. A $500,000 charitable donation from Oblenis Hospital, college scholarship for Athens High School graduating seniors interested in healthcare careers. It is intended to provide educational opportunities in the community. 40% or more of these seniors would typically be qualified for the highest levels of federal financial aid. However, those dollars do not cover the full amount of degrees or post-secondary training. The Muskingum County village of Fultonham is one step closer to maintaining its status as a village. Fultonham Council voted to appoint Anita Prater as a member. The Zanesville Time Recorder reports that an appointment was needed to keep the village afloat. At the moment, no one is running for council, which leaves one member, Christina Turner, in office until next year. Fultonham Village Council began a quest to appoint new council members after news broke that no one would be on the ballot this fall. Fultonham's government functioning depends on if 2 people are appointed by January 1st. The city says they still need one more volunteer to avoid emergency dissolution into Newton Township. The council would be at 3 members by the start of 2022, which will allow them to appoint more members as well as mayor. The winners of the first major event following the opening ceremonies of the Circleville Pumpkin Show have been announced. Stephen Thornhill won the grand prize for largest pumpkin, coming in at 1,850.5 pounds. The Circleville Herald reports rounding out the top 3 were second place winner John Pritchard with a 1,620-pound pumpkin and third place winner Daryl Crosby with a 1,448-pound pumpkin. There were 35 entries in total. Ernie Weaver, the Pumpkin Show trustee who organizes and MCs the Giant Pumpkin Way Off, said this year's event featured a $3,000 top prize, a $1,000 for second place, and third place received $750 and fourth wins $500. The remaining top 20 winners all receive $100 each. The Circleville Pumpkin Show runs through Saturday. A severe storm, including 6 tornadoes confirmed by the National Weather Service, tore through northeast Ohio Thursday, downing trees and power lines, damaging homes and parks, and even ripping the roof off of a house. Jesse Schultz reports from Wickliffe, which was hit especially hard.
Just a little after 4 in the afternoon Thursday, when Joe Tushar heard the sound of wind picking up and a noise unlike any he's heard before.
I heard the freight train sound. You can hear it. It's a different kind of sound, and it wasn't a good sound.
He and his wife ran to their basement.
And it was over just about as soon as we got in the basement.
A short few moments, but the damage extensive. He says his backyard was a mess. Wires down, telephone poles snapped, and debris. But it wasn't until he saw his neighbor's house that he felt lucky.
When I got outside, I looked outside and I couldn't believe what I saw.
The roof of his neighbor's home was nearly all gone.
That was surreal.
The woman who lives there was not home at the time.
I don't think anybody could be good with something like this, but she understood, and we'll get her through it.
Jim Powers, the Wickliffe fire chief, says as soon as the storm passed through, the cleanup began.
Went for about a half a mile. So we saw a lot of wires down, branches down, but apparently it just hit here.
David Derazek can attest to these few houses getting the worst of it. He lives just 3 minutes away from his great aunt and uncle's home in this cul-de-sac. He says he didn't hear or feel anything, but his family members called him in a panic.
That's why it was so weird when they called. They said tornado, and we know how close they live. That's why we were dumbfounded for a minute to figure out what was going on. That's why we just came up here.
They too have significant damage. A tree fell into the back of their home.
We're just glad they're okay. They seem a little shaken up, but they're going to stay at my parents' house tonight.
But despite all of this damage, the residents I talked to feel a sense of gratitude for all of the help.
We'll be okay.
I feel awful, but look how great the city of Wickliffe is. My gosh, they got a lot of it cleaned up already.
Officials with the National Weather Service will be out Friday surveying the damage in several cities across the region. 11 tornado warnings were issued Thursday, the most issued by the National Weather Service in Cleveland in one day since 2005. There were no reports of injuries. Will we be seeing any severe weather this weekend, Henry?
No, this weekend we'll not be seeing any severe weather. We will see some nice weather into Saturday, but first let's take a look outside at Athens, where right now it's around 54 degrees. Humidity is around 75. It's been a little bit of a gloomy day because of how much cloud cover we've seen, and the winds are going to be remaining calm heading into this evening. The same can be said across the region, with temperatures also in the low to mid 50s. Temperatures aren't going to be decreasing that much, also due to cloud cover, and we're going to be seeing some sprinkles here and there. So if you're going out to a football game tonight, definitely bring a sweater. Looking at the weather headlines for this weekend, you're going to be seeing cloudy skies overnight, and these clouds will be dissipating by Saturday, and the rain chances will return on Sunday. I'll have more on this in my full forecast later on. Now back to Olivia.
A Gallia County grand jury has indicted 8 people on felony charges of poaching a white-tailed deer and stealing meat from hunters. The indictments come after a joint investigation by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and the Ohio Attorney General's office. WSAZ reports the 8 people charged face a combined 91 criminal counts. According to investigators, a deer meat processing facility called A&E Deer Processing and others poached 30 white-tailed deer. They also stole more than 700 pounds of meat from deer hunters who pay to have venison processed by the business. Investigators say the company then sold the stolen meat for profit. A homemade explosive device was found on a barge and on the Ohio River. The West Virginia State Police had a bomb squad on scene Thursday near Pleasants and Tyler County lines. Pleasants County Sheriff Chuck Minkins tells WTAP the device was safely removed. The Ohio River was closed between mile markers 145 and 151. No arrests have been made as of Thursday afternoon. The state police are handling the investigation in cooperation with the FBI and ATF. The state of Ohio unveiled a new standard license plate on Twitter Thursday. The last time Ohio updated its standards license plate design was in 2013. The new plate honors Dayton's Orville and Wilbur Wright. The brothers are credited with the first flight in a manned aircraft, but the Ohio Bureaus of Motor Vehicles apparently got the design wrong. If you take a closer look, the banner is trailing from the wrong end of the plane. The department sent out a tweet acknowledging the mistake. In response, the North Carolina Department of Transportation tweeted in jest, quote, "Y'all leave Ohio alone. They wouldn't know. They weren't there." This is because North Carolina is where the Wright brothers actually made that historic flight. The new Ohio plate will be available to drivers starting December 29th. A key lawmaker says there is no evidence of Trump's involvement in the January 6th insurrection. And Alec Baldwin released a statement on incident with a prop gun on a movie set which resulted in a death. Plus, new data on COVID vaccines for younger children has been released. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
the final week of the regular season, the final time for teams to make their case for making the playoffs. We'll head to Jackson for our game of the week as the Ironmen take on Chillicothe. We'll be seeing two 9-0 teams as Ridgewood takes on Garraway. And we'll go beyond the lines as we'll announce the winning school from our student section showdown. All this and more at 11:30 p.m. on Friday, 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. So come over and experience all the action only on WOUB.
On Secrets of the Dead. Until now, the experiences of early women received little attention.
The female was simply forgotten.
The true story of prehistoric woman is being brought to light.
We operate under the assumption that it's the prime age males that are the be-all and end-all of Ice Age lifeways, and they're not.
Lady Sapiens on Secrets of the Dead.
All along the New England coast, ospreys are icons of summer. They've come to take up their greatest challenge, to compete with each other, to fend off thieves, and to raise tiny, helpless chicks. For an osprey, summer is no day at the beach. It's an annual call to battle, and the toughest test of everything they are.
Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney said this week that there was evidence of former President Trump's involvement in the January 6th insurrection. But one of her colleagues on the select committee investigating the riot said he's not so sure. Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin spoke to reporters Friday.
I don't know of specific documents that prove that at this point, but I think that what we're going to follow as this process unfolds is what levels of knowledge pertain to different actors in it, including Donald Trump, including Roger Stone, including Steve Bannon, including Michael Flynn, including all of the names that you've read about in the newspaper. But nothing here happened by accident.
Earlier, Raskin had cited evidence that Trump had foreknowledge of what was going to happen. But when pressed, he clarified that there was no evidence Trump knew violence would occur. He did, however, say Trump incited the violent insurrection. Hollywood rocked by tragedy. A crew member died and another was injured after actor Alec Baldwin discharged a prop firearm on a film set in New Mexico Thursday. As authorities investigate, many want answers. Chris Wynn has the latest.
Actor Alec Baldwin has released a statement one day after director of photography Helena Hutchins was killed after he discharged a prop firearm on the set of the film Rust. There are no words to convey my shock and sadness regarding the tragic accident that took the life of Helena Hutchins, a wife, mother, and deeply admired colleague of ours. I'm fully cooperating with the police investigation to address how this tragedy occurred. According to law enforcement, Baldwin discharged the prop weapon during the filming of a scene on the Rust set, releasing some type of projectile which hit Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza.
If I was on that set, I would be very curious as to what broke down as far as the rules, the regulations, and the safety precautions.
According to experts, the prop weapons used on movie sets are not plastic toys.
To be clear, anything that's called a prop weapon when we're talking about shooting is in fact a real gun.
Even though there's no actual physical projectile mounted on the front of that weapon, on the cartridge, there is projectiles that do come out. The powder, the gas, and those can cause physical injury within 25 to 50 feet, depending on the load.
The family of the late actor Brandon Lee tweeted their condolences about the accident yesterday. Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, was killed in a prop gun accident, a bullet on the set of The Crow in 1993. Experts say Lee's death led to stricter standards on film and movie sets.
Situations like this should never, ever happen.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
The Santa Fe Sheriff's Department says the investigation remains open and active, and no charges have been filed. The film set has been closed for now. The Pfizer vaccine may become available for younger children. That story is still ahead.
We're going to be seeing nice weather on Saturday, but the chance of rain will return. I'll have this and more in my full forecast coming up on Newswatch. But first, a look at stocks of local interest.
I volunteered for missions. It was just too exciting.
Beware what you wish for.
That's when the ambush starts.
He was walking on the ridgeline, and I fired.
You are never the same.
It's important for people to hear these stories, to understand why and when and where we send our sons and daughters to go and fight, but also in helping us to come home.
American Veteran, Tuesday, October 26 at 9, 8 Central, only on PBS.
16-year-old Noño and his family live a seemingly idyllic existence. But Noño holds a secret. As he steps into his true identity, see how revealing yourself can be an act of bravery. Things we dare not do on POV.
This bridge proved the power of a miracle material and ride the railroad that made coast-to-coast train travel possible. I'm Jeffrey Bear, and I'll be your guide as we visit 10 amazing feats of civil engineering. Find out which marvels made the list of 10 modern marvels that changed America.
The final week of the regular season, the final time for teams to make their case for making the playoffs. We'll head to Jackson for our game of the week as the Ironmen take on Chillicothe. We'll be seeing two 9-0 teams as Ridgewood takes on Garraway. And we'll go beyond the lines as we'll announce the winning school from our student section showdown. All this and more at 11:30 p.m. on Friday, 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. So come over and experience all the action only on WOUB.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm forecaster Henry Groff with a look at your full weather. And all day today, we've seen some cloudy skies as shown on visible satellite because of this stationary front over the area. Honestly, the nice weather is out to the Central Plains, but we'll start to see clouds dissipate overnight and into tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be looking really nice. Looking at the surface features, we have high pressure to the south of the region, and over us is the stationary front. That's why we did see some drizzle today and mostly just very cloudy skies. It's been cool all day because of the clouds. Looking at tonight, we're going to be down to around 50 degrees by midnight. Still going to be cloudy. We will see a few sprinkles, so if you are heading out to a football game, make sure you bring that sweater and make sure you bring a jacket if you don't like getting rained on. And by midnight, we will see some calm winds. Temperatures overnight will be down to the upper 40s. Not much in the way of cooling, but it's still going to be feeling very chilly. Chance of rain will be around 20%, and the winds will also remain calm. Looking across the region, it will still be in the mid-40s across the region with cloudy skies all over the area. That's why we won't be seeing temperatures hitting the upper 30s, which honestly, I'm not looking forward to that yet. Looking at tomorrow, the stationary front will be moving down to the south. We'll see some breaks in the clouds tomorrow, and it'll be warming up a little bit, mostly in the low 60s. By tomorrow morning, we're going to be in the upper 40s by around 8 a.m., and we'll see some decreasing clouds. Temperatures by noon will be around 56, and it's going to be feeling really nice tomorrow with temperatures heading into the low 60s. We're going to be seeing decreasing clouds. It's going to be very nice, so if you have the ability to get outside tomorrow, I highly recommend it. Winds will be out from the west at around 5 miles per hour. And looking across the region, still going to be looking very nice with temperatures in the low 60s. Newark and Cambridge will be in the upper 50s. Again, really nice tomorrow. Looking at the 7-day forecast, why I keep emphasizing the really nice weather tomorrow is because this is really the only day this weekend that's going to be really nice. Sunday, we do see the chance of rain return with temperatures in the upper 60s also on Monday. Monday, there is a 90% chance of rain, but luckily by Tuesday and Wednesday, the rain chances diminish, and we'll see temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. And by Thursday, the chance of rain will return again. So that's a look at weather for right now. Now back over to Olivia.
That's it from here. Over to you, Michael. New data just released on COVID vaccines for children ahead of a meeting on the matter next week. Pfizer says its vaccine is highly effective against symptomatic COVID-19 in children ages 5 to 11. Mandy Gaither has the latest on a possible timeline.
Just days before a meeting on COVID-19 vaccines for younger children,
the vaccinations and the vaccines in question are highly effective and safe.
New data from Pfizer shows its vaccine is nearly 91% effective against symptomatic COVID-19 in children ages 5 to 11.
It is for the benefit of the children as well as for the entire family unit to get the child vaccinated.
If authorized, this would be the first COVID-19 vaccine for younger children. Kids ages 5 to 11 would be eligible to receive 2 doses of the Pfizer vaccine administered 3 weeks apart. Each dose is a third of the dose size now given to an adult.
We are actively working with pediatricians' offices to make sure that we are ready to go should that regulatory approval and the CDC recommendations come forward.
On Tuesday, FDA vaccine advisors meet on the matter. If that committee makes a recommendation, the full FDA will have to authorize it, followed by the CDC.
The CDC will actually meet the following week, the first week in November, to make a discussion and decision after we see the data on the 5 to 11-year-olds.
If the CDC gives the final thumbs up, younger children could start getting vaccinated not long after that in places like pediatrician offices, children's hospitals, and community centers. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Moderna and Johnson & Johnson have not yet requested emergency use authorization for a COVID-19 vaccine for younger children and will not be considered during this meeting next week.
I'm at Jackson's Alumni Stadium for the Ironmen's battle with Chillicothe tonight. Last season, the Cavaliers stunned Jackson to win the FAC title. Can the Ironmen get revenge? I'll have more on that when Newswatch returns. And now here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station tonight.
Yeah. 16-year-old Noño and his family live a seemingly idyllic existence. But Noño holds a secret. As he steps into his true identity, see how revealing yourself can be an act of bravery. Things we dare not do on POV.
It's the final week of the regular season, the final time for teams to make their case for making the playoffs. We'll head to Jackson for our game of the week as the Ironmen take on Chillicothe. We'll be seeing 2 9-0 teams as Ridgewood takes on Garraway. And we'll go beyond the lines as we'll announce the winning school from our student section showdown. All this and more at 11:30 p.m. on Friday, 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. So come over and experience all the action only on WOUB.
This bridge proved the power of a miracle material and ride the railroad that made coast-to-coast train travel possible. I'm Jeffrey Bear, and I'll be your guide as we visit 10 amazing feats of civil engineering. Find out which marvels made the list of 10 modern marvels that changed America.
I volunteered for missions. It was just too exciting.
Beware what you wish for. That's when the ambush starts.
He was walking on the ridgeline, and I fired.
You are never the same.
It's important for people to hear these stories to understand why and when and where we send our sons and daughters to go and fight, but also in helping us to come home.
American Veteran, Tuesday, October 26 at 9, 8 Central, only on PBS.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Michael Roth. I'm in Jackson for the Gridiron Glory Game of the Week between the Jackson Ironmen and Chillicothe. Last season, Chillicothe stunned Jackson, beating them 30-27 in double overtime. That gave them the FAC championship. All season, Jackson has talked about getting the FAC title back. They have that opportunity tonight. So far, the Ironmen have been dominant in conference play, outscoring their opponents 209-54 in their 4 conference games. Gridiron Glory will be at 9 more games tonight. The biggest one features 2 squads that are both 9-0. Reporter Joe Collins spoke with Ridgewood head coach John Slusser prior to the Generals battle with Garraway.
It's one of those things I think you never can take for granted as a coach, as a player, as a fan. I mean, ultimately your goal should be in every sport, the last game you play, to be for all the marbles, to play against your rival, both be 9-0, both be ranked in the state.
Ridgewood and Garraway have been 2 of the more prestigious programs in Southeast Ohio for the past decade now, and that has made for some outstanding football when these 2 rivals cross paths. Ridgewood has dominated nearly every team they've played for a while. The Pirates have not been one of those teams.
I've been here 17 years, and Garraway, since I've been here, has been our biggest rival. You know, their program is just unbelievable. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what our record is against them, but I know it's got to be real close to 500. They're one of the few teams that have that kind of record against us. They've won just as many as we have probably in my 17 years.
The storylines going into this game are incredible. A win by Ridgewood gives them their 4th straight IVC title, their 29th regular season win in a row, possibly first place in Division V's Region 19 for the playoffs, and allows their talented senior class to finish 35-1 in the regular season. That one loss, it was their freshman year, 27-21 to none other than the Garraway Pirates.
We'll see if the Generals can complete their perfect regular season tonight. Another squad looking to go unbeaten this season are the Bern Union Rockets. Bern Union hasn't had a perfect regular season this century. Fisher Catholic is the final hurdle in the Rockets' way. In the NBL, John Glenn and Tri-Valley are playing for the NBL Big School title. Both teams are unbeaten in conference play heading into tonight's contest. In the other division of the NBL, Meadowbrook and West Muskingum are battling for the small division crown. If Meadowbrook wins, they take the title for themselves. If West Muskingum wins, they split the title with themselves, Meadowbrook, and Coshocton. Another conference that could see a 3-way tie is the OVC. Ironton's heading to Portsmouth. It's one of the longest rivalries in all of Southeast Ohio. I'll now toss it back to Henry with weather.
Taking a final look at the forecast for tonight, we're going to be looking at a pleasant afternoon tomorrow with highs at around 61 degrees. Temperatures will be the same across the region tomorrow, where we'll see highs in the upper 50s and temperatures in the low 60s. The weather is going to be really nice heading into the afternoon. And taking a final look at the 7-day forecast, we're going to be looking at sunny. We're going to be looking at sunny weather Saturday afternoon with a high around 61. Sunday, we're going to be seeing rain chances return in the afternoon. Temperatures will be up in the upper 60s. And then Monday, we're going to be seeing rain at around 90% chance. Again, high will be around 68. Tuesday, we'll be heading back down to the upper 50s. And now I'm going to be handing it back to Olivia.
Thank you, Henry. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Olivia Roman. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on helping people achieve a life well lived with a custom strategy. Information at goldsberrywealth.com. Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Support comes from Ohio University's Center for Campus and Community